Hello PlayStation fans! Today we're looking at 10 games that ended up being the death nail to their franchise. The quirky Saga series was known for messing with RPG convention. Whereas this was a commercial success over in Japan, Western audiences hated it. Square decided that they needed to focus on games that had a worldwide appeal, and so new releases of the Saga series have been limited.
Now, what would a platform game be without platforms?
The fourth game of the Bubsy series was the first ever platforming title to enable fully 3D exploration. Mixed reviews upon release, and retrospective reception regarding it as one of the worst video games of all time, it would take over 20 years for Bubsy 5 to be released. Technically, the first game in the series killed the series. 2 days after the sequel to Manhunt was announced, the first game was inaccurately connected to a murder in the UK. This led to activists and politicians vowing to have the second game banned. The series was just too controversial to continue.
You find somebody else for your suicide mission.
We did, before we lost contact with her. She told us to find you.
Ellie.
Dead Space 1 and 2 were triumphs of the survival horror genre. Unfortunately, EA decided to steer the series away from its roots, towards a more action-orientated style of gameplay, with microtransactions. Ugh. It sold less than both previous installments, and the series is now considered dead. This game ended up being in development hell for over 13 years. Unfortunately, the end result played out as if all the worst elements FPS games from the last decade had been merged into one. People had gone from longing for Duke's triumphant return to never wanting to see him again.
But what truly separates the pilot from all the grunts and machines of the battlefield is the bond between a pilot and a Titan.
This game received critical acclaim on release, with the single-player campaign especially receiving praise. However, EA for some reason decided to release it in the week between the launch of Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. As a result, it sold poorly, and there are currently no plans for a sequel. Almost every year saw a new James Bond game on PlayStation. That was until 007 Legends, in which Daniel Craig's Bond recreated one mission from each of the 6 Bond eras. The game was poorly received, and there now hasn't been a James Bond game in 8 years.
You haven't changed a thing, you know. There's always gonna be someone like me to hunt you down.
This game had a villain called Captain Tobias Bruckner, who was a racist cyborg cowboy riding an Allosaurus. Need we say more? A reboot was released in 2008, but by then momentum for the series had all but gone.
Now lock and load. Conditions deteriorating. Hang on, it's gonna get rough.
Critics were puzzled that the latest Red Faction threw out the strong points of its predecessor. Gone was the open world destructible fun of Red Faction Guerrilla, and instead here was a cover shooter in the style of Gears of War. The game sold very poorly, and THQ declared bankruptcy a year later.
Let's back up. When and where?
My train arrives at 2:20.
In Madrid.
Yes, Madrid. At least someone will be happy to see you.
This was EA's effort to dethrone Activision's extremely popular franchise, Call of Duty. Unfortunately, Warfighter was a critical and commercial failure, which led to EA putting the Medal of Honor series on hold and shutting down the studio that made it, Danger Close Games. Do you know of any other PlayStation games that killed a franchise? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.
So, you wanna be a video game star?
For more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to make sure you don't miss any videos in the future. Cheers!
You'll be in for some surprises.